morning, the viewers of the live stream, whether you're watching live or after it saves as a video on the live stream. Welcome to another live stream. And the S&P is going vertical once again, and Bitcoin continues to struggle. This is giving us more confirmation that we're in a bear market. Unfortunately, for people like me, it also may mean that we'll never be able to switch over to the stock market. We'll have to stay in crypto. You may be asking why, and that is because you do have to take into consideration that in 2015, Bitcoin had actually put a low in, and then the S&P pulled back later on. This was what I was hoping wouldn't happen, but if it ends up happening, then I have to stay in the crypto. I have to stay in the crypto hell because I can't put my money into the stock market when it's overbought. But that's okay. Crypto is always the way to go anyway, according to YouTube. But without further ado, we can clearly see the S&P is flying, as is the Dow Jones, and Bitcoin is a dead dog sitting on the porch, which I think is good for us because we're looking for the bear market capitulation. And there's a lot to talk about. Nothing too crazy, nothing we haven't gone over, but I would like to start with our Bitcoin divided by SPY because she's doing what she's been doing the whole bear market. Bitcoin divided by SPY is displaying familiar behavior, and I think familiar behavior is something that you want to see. You don't want to see uncharted territory because then it becomes hard to navigate. But because we're doing what we always do when we turn bearish, I think this is a good sign. I also would like to point out that our 5-day stock RSI has crossed down. I would also like to point out that the 5-day stock RSI for Bitcoin actually made a new high. So Bitcoin is what I would consider still max bullish. It's very difficult to call for a crash as the stock RSI is climbing. But you can see the 5-day stock RSI just made another high last night. So the bulls are still in control. Now, you can only do this for so long before the price reverses down. So we got to start moving up if we're going to be bullish. Believe it or not, the bulls are still in control, but every 5 days that go by that the price doesn't move, you can see once we hit overbought, it starts getting a little bit dangerous. So we'll continue to monitor the situation. We are still consolidating. The S&P erupted to a new high. Bitcoin still has not moved. This is classic bear market behavior. It's been that way since the bear market started, where the S&P made a new high. Bitcoin failed to make a new high. Then we went down. Well, it didn't make a new high. It made a new local high. And then we went down. We can see the same thing had occurred here. The S&P made a new high. Bitcoin rallied up for a new high, and then it collapsed. I imagine the same thing's about to happen again, where Bitcoin should get another spike, and then the collapse will take place. So I think we're just going to have to be patient, let it play out. The reality is that I've accepted is Bitcoin typically moves in 30-day increments. So the fact that we still have 60 days of the bear market means that we could actually just sit here for a little while. And I think the fact that we are just sitting here means it's still bearish. If you look back at other bear market bottoms, when the S&P made a new all-time high, Bitcoin went up. So I do think that is a clue that we're not at the bear market bottom. because you can see when the bull market started, both of these assets rallied together. When the S&P rallied in October of 2022 and Bitcoin didn't, the bottom was not in. When the bottom is in, they rally together. In 2019, the S&P made a new all-time high and Bitcoin rallied with the S&P. So the fact that we're not budging, I think, tells us we're bearish. And finally, 2015, we can see that the bottom was in, and then the S&P fell afterwards. But you don't want to gloss over the fact that Bitcoin came back down again, and then when the S&P rallied, Bitcoin rallied. In every bear market, the S&P rallied and Bitcoin rallied. Sorry, every bear market bottom. The fact that we're not doing that right now tells me that it's still bearish. However, I will respect the bullish momentum. It is max bullish. We can still go up. I don't know if we're going to go up, but we can. And the fact that we can means it's possible. And if it can happen, it will happen. And the 5-day stock RSI is my personal favorite. Every time it hits overbought, it's time to turn bearish, because when it goes back down to oversold, that's where the crash is, when you're bearish. It's been that way forever and ever. So if I had to guess, I think post this week, I can turn back to being Mr. Bear. By Friday, as today is Tuesday, so maybe by Saturday. No, it should be Friday. We should have an overbought 5-day stock RSI. This is exactly what we were asking for. We're getting everything we asked for. I can't believe it. And I also want to bring to your attention that overnight, Tether snuck in another little sell-off. They're sneaking in the sell-offs on Tether. If you remember, I asked the universe, I said, universe, could you please send Tether down so we know it's bearish before we're bearish? Now, unfortunately, this isn't enough to say that, but every little inch counts. And you can see Tether has made another low as yesterday, which was the second. Well, yesterday was actually the third. We were up here, and now today is the fourth, and we are down here. So they are selling Tether. Only present in bear markets. Now, well, technically bear market. Tether going down isn't enough to be bearish. You can see in December of 2024 it went down. But we're looking for a major move down. And I noticed today we actually got a bear signal, and I would have to really argue here that Bitcoin should be setting up for the capitulation, as when you get this bear signal, it is very rare. It is very rare. So I am going to prepare for capitulation. The question is, when? When is that? And I have to assume, based on the real-time data, not the 4-year cycle, based on the real-time data, that if this 5-day stock RSI can't send the price up, then we're going down once this rolls over, which is projected to be the end of August. That's what it looks like. It looks like our Moonboy chart is forecasting the top to be very, very soon, if not already. And we're looking for the end of August to be bearish, and then all the way into October. So you know I've had this drawn for a little while now. It looks like it's going to play out. So now we just sit and wait. We just sit and wait. I am a little upset. I will admit I am very upset that the S&P appears to not want to have any type of correction. It is what it is. We accepted that it's possible. Now we just know we're stuck in crypto forever and ever. Doge for 2 says, look at Luigi, the trial is coming up. I appreciate the 2. Let's take a look at Luigi. Mario and Luigi. Those were the old days. Do they still make Mario and Luigi? Mario and Luigi. So we can take a fib from the high down to the low. We can see that we are over the 382 retracement. So you may have a bullish push. You got to stay over the 382 retracement, which is about 1470. So we can argue that as long as Luigi remains above 14 to 12, we can actually look for higher prices around 29 to 60. A break below 12 will confirm a major move down to around 85 and the 236 at 61. A break below 61 means the top is in and it's going back to 0. So I would say keep an eye on 12 to 14. That would be your bull support. I think any lower than this, 14 to 12, and it's going to come down. Next stop is 29, then 60, and then 16. I appreciate the 2 from Mr. Luigi. I appreciate the 2. Stocks booming, semis are back. Everything you asked would be everything tanking, yet it's not. Yes. This guy says keep on waiting for it. The toxicity is starting to come. That's what I want to see. I want to see the toxic bulls come back. We cannot form a market top without the toxic bulls. The first toxic bull has returned. This is what we wanted. I appreciate the 2 from Mr. Luigi. No S&P correction. Well, we're not supposed to get the S&P correction now. It's not supposed to happen until the end of August and September. But obviously, if the S&P does go significantly higher, then it obviously cancels out the correction that we wanted, which is not going to be good. That means we're going to have to do crypto again, which is unfortunate, but at least we're aware it's a possibility. But we never hit the short-term hold or realized price. And if it's gonna happen, it kinda has to happen now. But keep in mind that when we finally hit it, that is where the stream comes to an end, and we prepare for either the super cycle or $40,000 Bitcoin. Our time together is coming to an end very shortly. I wish you all the best. But we do have to be open that the top may not be in. There still may be that final rally into our Moonboy event. It is a very likely outcome. Very likely outcome. Wow, what a move. Very nice move. Doge says, trust me, buy Luigi. You heard it here first. Not financial advice. You better get in. You better get in before the train leaves, according to Mr. Doge. Appreciate the 2 from Mr. Doge. Yeah, so it looks like that 200-week moving average probably isn't happening. Womp, womp, womp. I think we're too far away now. It's too far away. Should till we break past 60K talking all this rubbish? Yes. We need the toxicity to return. We cannot top without the toxic bulls. I need higher low to tell me I should have bought in once we get up here. And that should mark the top. The question is, are we going to get up there? That's the question. That's the question we need. Now would be the time to do so. You're really not going to get a better environment than right now. Are we rich yet? That's up to you. I don't know. Are you rich? Are you rich? Are you rich? What was I going to look at today? There was something I wanted to look at. Yes, it was this. Sorry, wrong way. Yeah, we're definitely wrapping this up, I think, very shortly. But we should hit, if it's gonna hit, it's gotta hit now. If it's gonna hit, we should hit now. Like Friday. So it's possible that Friday is the last live stream. Very possible. We're in Max Moonboy territory. It's either now or never. It's so bearish. S&P new all-time high. Bitcoin can't move. Well, I wouldn't underestimate Bitcoin not moving because it's going to move very violently. But the question is, when it moves violently, is it going to get stuck at 68,000? And if it does, that's where it turns bearish. It should be 68,000, roughly. Whoops. We could get rid of this. It should be just a little bit higher than the short-term realized price. Because then we can be back at the low by the end of the month. And then we go down in September. So August is probably not going to be as bearish as people thought. But it could still be bearish by the end of the month. But this has to happen now if it's going to happen. Because when it has happened in the other parts of the bear market, the S&P was making a new all-time high. So if it's going to happen, now is the time. If all says crypto is done, it's time to buy. Yes, sir. The higher we go, the more bullish it gets. The higher we go, the more bullish it gets. You better get in. Everybody's bearish. You better get in, not financial advice. It is unfortunate though. Let's see if she plays, let's see if she pulls back or not. Let's see. It's not looking promising though, which is really tragic. You know, we got something, but that wasn't enough. You know? That would be unfortunate if it was the bottom. Tech stocks will take the liquidity out of crypto. I don't know. Last month I was told the liquidity is going to flow from the semis to crypto. Now it's the other way around again. It's at this point, everybody has made their decisions. There's really no other way around it. But yeah, that is really... It's not unfortunate that it's making a new all-time high, because that was always on the table, but if we just start ripping like this, then it's not coming back down here. Which would be tragic. That would be very tragic. And I have to buy MSTR or some rubbish. Nothing has topped yet. Well, I guess even I have to start respecting the Moonboy chart even more. We got our chance. Here we go. Here's more toxicity. We got our chance to buy at the 200-day moving average, but the Moonboy theory is the reason we didn't buy. Not financial advice. Yes, yes, yes. There's more toxicity coming in. Dude, I think it's about to happen. I really do. One more spike, maybe, and then that's it. We're going down. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about that. The I told you so's are coming in already. Can you look at SOXL? If the S&P bottomed, SOXL already bottomed. This isn't gonna happen. This isn't gonna happen if the S&P already bottomed. So there's no point of looking at it. The only question you have to ask yourself is, do you believe in the 4-year cycle, or do you believe in the Moonboy hopium? That's the only question that's left. Do you believe in the 4-year cycle, or do you believe it's different this time? When all the noise clears, that's what you have to ask yourself. We missed it. SOXL is long gone. It could be, man. It could be. That could have been it. That could be it. We might be doomed to buy crypto again. Stock market's not coming back for us. Get your votes in, get your votes in. Chat's getting toxic today. Uh-oh. I told you sowers. If I have to rely on Solana, I'll be upset. No, I still think there would be a correction. Bitcoin cannot go down to the bottom without an S&P correction. The problem is it's not going to be what we wanted for the stock market. We got what we wanted for crypto, not for the stock market. I do think it's unreasonable to expect SPY. I mean, unless the top is like right around the corner. If the top is right around the corner, it's possible. But if we see one of these again and it just keeps going, then it's not happening. Because I can't sit here telling you a 30% drawdown on SPY is going to occur. That's just not happening. It's not. So if we go like this, then this is off the table. But even in 2015, you sat through a period of consolidation, which means we're going to have to go through some kind of shenanigans before the bull market can actually start. But I'm not interested in buying SPY here because it was already there. That's why I would have to buy Bitcoin or whatever I'm going to buy, which would be unfortunate, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. If I have to buy crypto again, I'll buy crypto again. Doge Maxi says, was watching Chris Pax yesterday and there was a troll, VP Fatboy. Yeah, VP Fatboy is in his late 20s in his mother's basement and he lives overseas. I think he's in India, but he doesn't speak English as his first language. So he pretends to be me because I'm his favorite troll target. He has a whole channel dedicated to me. So if you ever see him anywhere, it's not me. I don't have time to watch other YouTubers. Well, I have the time, I just choose not to. And you also have to consider that almost every YouTuber has their YouTube channels on sub only, and I can't be bothered to subscribe. So yes, the VP Fatboy is a troll account. He's been trolling for 4 years now, but he's holding Pepe down to 0. That's why he doesn't troll me anymore. Because he lost all of his money as well. So Bitcoin doesn't need a 30% SPX to wreck. Yeah, we're not worried about Bitcoin. We're worried about having to buy Bitcoin. A lot of us wanted to jump over to the stock market, but it might not be possible. It might not be possible. We might have to stay in the crypto scam. Which at this point, it's not the end of the world. Like, we know we could just buy MSTR. Which is, again, it's not a bit like, even if you get a 10x on MSTR, it's still life-changing. But it's alright. It is okay. It is. It can't be, but it is. Man, that's not. I guess it's just gonna go to 800. Man, I'm not a political guy, but you do gotta admit, these Trump stock markets are nuts, man. They're just unbelievable. It's fucking nuts, man. No, that's cope. Once the moon boy chart passes, you're gonna see how choppy it's gonna get. Don't you wait, don't you worry. I have faith in the moon boy chart. It got us this far, didn't it? Once August 13th passes, it's time to go down. Mark my words. Will I still host lives? No, once we hit 68K, I'm done. I'm hiding in my bear bunker. If we don't hit 68K, then probably when we go back to the low. It's either or. But according to the Moon Boy chart, once August 13th passes, we should go down. And the 4-year cycle, too, says we should go down. The current moves are not convincing people sidelined to buy in. Yeah, they're not going to buy in until we break the short-term realized price. That's why we've been looking at it for so long. That's what this is. That's why the fact that the chat, just a couple people, not a lot of people, a couple people are toxic today. That's always present when we get up to this moving average. So I would assume that if it's going to get hit, it has to be now. Because it's important to know that when the S&P pulled back just a little bit back in the summer, Bitcoin went straight down. And then on top of that, the S&P went even higher, and then Bitcoin went down anyway. Bitcoin had actually basically put the low in by the time the S&P went down. So that means that if Bitcoin is going to pump, it has to happen now, because when this happens, that's when we go down. But the Moon Boy chart says we're max bullish right now, so we can't really say we're going to go down. What I'm saying is, what is going to happen after the Moon Boy event comes? If we pass through August and the S&P keeps going, then we're not coming down here. It's over. That doesn't mean Bitcoin's not coming down. I don't think there's anything that can change Bitcoin from coming down here. But it does kind of ruin my plan because I was hoping to switch over to stocks so I don't have to monitor this shit anymore. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. But again, we discussed oil too. A lot of people were saying it's going here because of the war. I think oil's coming down here because that's what it always does. And the fact that oil is doing what it always does means that Bitcoin should do what it always does, which is come down here. And technically, the S&P should do something, but I have to respect that in 2015, we didn't do that. We went sideways. So could we do something like this? It would be really unfortunate, but it is possible. Well, it wouldn't take this long. It would be much shorter. Because what Bitcoin always does is Bitcoin spends 100 to 120 days below the realized price, which means the S&P has to do something in order for that to happen. But by then, I am gonna try and be all in by January. That's my goal. I want to be all in by January, February at the latest. But unfortunately, if the stock market doesn't pull back, then my plan hasn't changed, because I wouldn't say it's even set yet. Somebody asked about the semiconductors. It would do something like this, which the whole point was to get into the stock market and then into crypto. Probably would be much smaller than this. But if this happens, then Bitcoin is going to turn bullish at the same time. So this isn't going to work. The hopium was to buy stocks and then rotate into Bitcoin, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Seems like I'm just stuck in crypto, which is okay. I have a plan for that too. But it would have been, well, I mean, listen, I'm not going to give up yet. Maybe it still plays out. But that's a little bit bullish. If we do something like this, could you fucking imagine? Dude, could you imagine this is what happens? I would be sick if that actually happens. Because even if you had a correction from there, it doesn't even do anything. That would be sick. My perspective on the Moonboy chart says we go sideways or up. Could be, man. It could be. I think this Friday is where the apex is, where you got to make your choice. You're either bearish or bullish. Because the 4-year cycle says we got to start going down soon. And the Moonboy chart says we have to go down soon. So I think post this, we should start looking for a move down. Which I'm happy with it, you know? It's not moving, which is really good. Because I'm trying to understand the bullish theory here. Genuinely, what are we waiting for to send Bitcoin higher? That's what I'm not understanding. If in history, every time Bitcoin has gone up, it was with the S&P. Even though the S&P made a lower low over here, you still went up with the S&P. My question is, if not now, then when? What is going to make it go up? That would be my question to the Moonboy theory. Like, not my Moonboy, but like a literal Moonboy consensus. Like, what is going to send it higher if it's not this? Rotate from MSTR? No, MSTR is probably the better. MSTR is probably the better play overall. I would say. Clarity, crypto reserve. So you're asking for things that already occurred. Interesting, interesting. Well, we're getting to that time. It really is. Best of luck to whoever. We're getting there. No more bets. We're really getting there. No more bets. Yeah, I just found out that for some reason I can't even gamble anymore. They booted me out. My jurisdiction. It is disappointing though. Yeah, I would say, man, if we don't turn bearish after August for the S&P, it's not gonna go down because we just had a reset here. I will say. That is disappointing if it does keep going. I will say it is disappointing if it does keep going. Pull the fractal from 2019, 1999. Yeah, maybe the stock market is just going to go up forever. It's not impossible. It would be disappointing, but it's not impossible. I will say. I will be honest, I was kind of hoping to switch over to stocks, but if we're just going to keep pumping into oblivion, then I'm never going to be able to switch. Because the risk reward, or I guess it would be return, which may be the same thing. The return reward would be better on Bitcoin or crypto. If the S&P doesn't go down, then crypto would be the better bet. It's only when you get in at the bottom is Bitcoin, or excuse me, is the S&P the better option. But that's why I need the crash so I can switch over. But I'm not putting all my money in here. No way. If it comes down here, I'll put my money in. Because now you get to the same place, but the return is 100% to 500%, or maybe even 300. It's not worth it for me. I'm just going to wait my turn. I get a better return on MSTR. I was just hoping to avoid Ponzi scheme. Trump accounts add 1K per child. That's all right. I don't lose money if the S&P goes higher. I was really hoping to change teams, man. They got me. I really was hoping to change teams. We'll get them next time. Do I think Harry Potter? That's a good question. I haven't seen all the Harry Potters. Thank you for the feedback. Chris is in the chat. Welcome, Mr. Chris. How am I? I'm okay. How are you doing? Ah, damn. Damn it. That is disappointing, though, I will admit. I'm not disappointed it made a new high because we were open to that. I am going to be disappointed if it just keeps going. But if we go like this and then come right back down, then we have to go down. There's no more. If we don't go down on this, it's not happening. But I also have to accept that if it does continue to go the way that it's going, it's not coming back down. Because even if you get this, now we're all the way up here. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help me. So I have to imagine that if we just keep going, which is on the table now, then I have to stay in the stock, or I have to stay in the crypto shithole, which I have no choice but to be a Michael Saylor mouse. I have to be a Michael Saylor moon boy. But the last bear market says we should be getting ready to go down very shortly. Middle of August. Which is ironically where the moon boy chart is. So I wonder if that's what we're waiting for. I think it is. When am I returning to the food channel? I hope when the bear market ends. That's what I'm hoping for. So maybe November. That would be nice to make my return for Thanksgiving. I could do some Taco Bell reviews. Welcome back to Taco Bell. Welcome back to Taco Bell. Yeah, if we were gonna get a move up, it's literally right now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, man. If we're gonna go up, it's right now. Even in 2023, look. So for the Moon Boys in the back, look at when we had our bull market. It was when the 5-day stock RSI went up. So if not now, then what are we waiting for? Because I know damn well I'm not going to be bullish once this thing gets up here. So I have to imagine it's now or never. But every time we say that, the last 2 times, it was bearish. Gonna have to co-partner, bull boy. Yeah, that guy doesn't watch the stream anymore. I guess he abandoned me. No, there's no reason to get toxic at each other. You just have to prepare for whatever you think will play out and live with the outcome. That's all there is to it, gentlemen. I'm a little down today because I am a little bit disappointed. I really wanted to switch over to the stock market for this exact reason. It never goes down. Now my brain is accepting I'm gonna have to freaking stay in the crypto shithole. The crypto shithole. That sucks. That's funny though. Crypto shithole. Is John Doe here? No, John Doe doesn't really come that much anymore. John Doe doesn't really return often. I feel like there was something I wanted to look at, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, Casp almost made a new low. What was I gonna look at today? I was looking at this. I said, what does total look like? Total divided by SPY. And I remember saying to myself, I should do this on the live stream. Oh, is this it? Did I already show you this? The bearish crossover? Yeah, I just got bearish again. Yeah. Did I already show you guys this? Or did I draw this on my own and I just never showed you? We got a bearish crossover on SPY total. Yeah, I mean, dude, the fact that this thing is going up and we're still falling. I think we're just going to have to stick to the Moonboy plan. Turn bearish after August 14th. It's always that simple. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Orange line up, white line down. You can't really be bearish into an orange line. It's just foolish. The good news is the orange line passes in 2 weeks, so that's where the crash should be. If this is going to play out the way it should, we should go down after the middle of August. And then bounce, and then from September to October go down from 60 to 40,000. That's what should happen. Now, the fact that we're still sitting here, I think, is a really good sign that it will happen. But we don't want to sit here forever. We do have to start moving down at some point. Not now, but at some point, we do have to move back to the low. So as long as we stay here, I would imagine if we're still here by the middle of August, that should be where it turns bearish. Or as long as we're below 70,000, even 68, I feel like. That's why I was really hoping we would have just hit it over here. But because we never hit it, it's still possible. But I don't know how much more time we have. I think we have like 10 days. Holy shit, it's still going. Congratulations to the stock boys. Stock boys win again. And you go over the new bull, there's no point. It hasn't moved. The new bull is directly correlated to the realized price. I realized almost every Bitcoin indicator is tied to the realized price. The new bull, the MVRV, not every indicator, but a lot of the I can't even find the word to describe it. Not momentum, but the realized price is basically dictating the MVRV score, the new bull. I feel like there's one more that I'm not remembering. But oh, maybe it's the Z score. I don't think there's a difference between that though. But a lot of these charts look like they're getting weaker and weaker. And it's because the top is getting closer and closer. Oh, we never looked at this. What is this? What is this? Compares Bitcoin price to Bitcoin MVRV ratio. Yeah, so either the bottom is in or it's about to be put in. That's the consensus. Because it looks like it makes a lower low when the bottom is already in. Oh, no, that's not true either. We went negative here and then the bottom fell out. Yeah, it's not even consistent. But what I just said is true. Either the bottom is already in or the bottom's about to fall out, which is not like science. That's what everyone is saying. You either think the bottom is in. Oh, sorry, you can't even see the whole chart. You either think the bottom is in or you think the bottom is not in. At this point in the market cycle, that's the consensus. The Moon Boys are saying the bottom is in. The Perma Bears are saying the bottom is not in. There's really no more information I can provide to you. We looked at everything. I didn't even think to check this. Holy shit. Wait. Yeah, we gotta get something, man. Yeah, we have to get something. We can't do this forever. The sideways shit doesn't go on forever, man. It just doesn't. It should be August. Oh, good luck to you all. Good luck to you all. How about buying 2x silver ETF? No, you can't be bullish on silver and bearish on Bitcoin. It doesn't make any sense. Bitcoin is better than most of those coins. The only reason I like the S&P is because of the 3x ETFs. And it's predictable if it follows Bitcoin. But if it doesn't follow Bitcoin, then it's not predictable. I don't want to gamble. If you don't know the outcome of something, then you're gambling. I'm not 100% sure that silver is going to do what it did last time. But there's ways to make money on MSTR. I don't mind, which by the way, MSTR is about to make a move too. Look, we're about to get blue bars on MSTR. Yeah, we're about to get something. Nah, 100%. We're about to get something, man. This can't go on forever. MSTR is either going to... Yeah, but see, it could still go like this and then down. It has to go up and away. That's why it's considered a bull trap. It's when you spike up, oh my God, we're going to the moon. It really does piss me off that we never got it. Because now it could still happen. But then you sit there saying, oh, what if it doesn't happen? But by definition, we never hit bull trap territory. We never hit the, oh man, it might be bullish. But now that the S&P is going straight up again, this is the perfect time for it to happen. But where is it? We should be getting it this week. I am upset because it should have happened back here. Now it's a month later. But technically, if it happened here, I wouldn't be that upset because it's happening when we want it to happen, which is bearish. I just don't know if it's gonna happen. What wouldn't be bearish is if it just goes like this. But again, I ask myself the question, when is that supposed to happen if in every time in history it happened, we were getting a bullish stock RSI, which is what we have right now. That's what makes me bearish overall. And I really do think by Friday, it's almost time to turn bearish for me. I'm not going to be a fake bull forever. It's almost bearish time. I think 30 days from now we're much lower. I can't say much lower, but I think we get the wrap around. The final leg down is probably starting somewhere here, if I had to guess. I still think August can be bearish. It's probably going to be towards the end of it, towards the end. But this is what I'm hoping for. Well, it's not what I'm hoping for. It's what I'm looking for. What I'm hoping for isn't happening. Now I'm banished to the shithole. Banished to the crypto shithole. I guess we're gonna have to start analyzing MSTR, aren't we? I can't believe we're stuck here. Is the curry man in the chat? We're stuck here. We have to buy MSTR now. And it's not gonna go back up. Watch. Son of a bitch. If everybody buys MSTR, it's not gonna go up. No, I don't believe that. Yeah, see, we never, it's not impossible, but now it's like too little too late. But we never hit toxic chat. That was the missing top signal, toxic chat. We never got it. See? We whiffed. It pulled back and then it just took a shit. We never got this. Now maybe it's about to happen. But we never got to that level. See? Toxic chat. It would have been a thing of beauty if it would have just happened when we wanted it to. July 12th, we should have gone up. And then the first week of August, we turned bearish. That would have been the best case scenario. But now we're doing this rubbish where it's sideways. So you don't know if it's going to go up and then down or if it's just going to go down. Now, some people think it's going to go up and then up. I don't think that. I'm concerned, is it going to go up and then down, or is it just going to go down? And I am disappointed that the S&P is moving this way, because the odds of me being able to become a stock guy are now dwindling before my eyes, unless we're right here. But that's a cope drawing. You know, you don't want to keep saying it's bearish if it's not bearish. That doesn't mean this can't happen, but I would argue that if we're still bullish by the end of August, it's probably not happening. Well, Bitcoin's not bullish, but the S&P. If the S&P just keeps pumping without us, that's going to be tragic. But it's not the end of the world. We're just going to have to become MSTR moon boys. I guess we buy MSTR at 50 bucks. Guess that's not the end of the world. MSTR at $35. I think that's too low, man. We're far from a bull market, but according to the Moonboy chart, where do we need to be out of alts by? Well, there's no guarantees. I want to make that clear. But here's the thing, if we really get this last crash where we think it is, then we have a very good idea of where the bull market starts. I know everyone says, oh, don't overcomplicate it, just buy in October. How many people are going to buy altcoins in October and lose all their money? If this ends up playing out, then technically the best time to buy altcoins should be here somewhere. Sometime after Labor Day of 2027. Now, I can't say I know where the top for altcoins are because it could occur at any time before this, as we saw in 2024. How many altcoins topped here, even though the market went up another high or put another push? So I don't know. But what I would say is, if you have a lot of money at any time after January, then you can probably get out because it's probably the top. It might not be the market top, but it might be the top for that coin. And I personally will be exiting all risky assets between July and November of 2028. This is me personally. I'm not saying I'm right, but this is what I'm looking at. Now, I'm making my own chart that's a little more advanced than this, but it's basically the same thing. It's just not as messy. But yeah, if we're right about this crash and we do actually go down in this fashion, because we're right up on the orange line. We're literally a week away from it. Almost, it's 8 days. Yeah, actually it is 8 days from today. Holy shit. 8 days from today. So we should turn bearish after that. And if we do, and we really do come down here, then yeah, I would say all shit. Anything that's not Bitcoin or stocks, you probably have to be out by this date. Because it's the same thing for MSTR. Oh, I already made it for MSTR. Yeah, if you take the first bear market and you overlay it, it's doing the exact same thing. And look at where the top is. So you probably turn bullish October of 2027. Which is not, that's why I'm saying if we really do turn bearish after August 12th, maybe I will buy MSTR. You know what? I don't know, actually. Do we buy MSTR? I guess we have no choice if the semiconductors don't pull back. I would still prefer the semiconductors, but I could see this. It's probably not going to look like this, but it's just a rough draft. Because if you take the prior bear market and you apply it to right now, it's almost the exact same thing. It's not the exact same thing, but it almost is. So if we take a shit after August 13th, then I know for a fact we're going down, probably into the 40K level. I don't know how low MSTR is going to go down, but I mean, considering every time Bitcoin goes down, MSTR goes down more, I have to assume that if Bitcoin really is going to go to 40,000, that's a 34% from here. I have to imagine MSTR is also going to go down at least 30% from here, which is $60. So MSTR below $60 for me is probably where the value is. The problem is if you buy in at 60 and it goes to 40, Now you're taking a big hit. But I do believe it should snap back pretty violently. Which, unfortunately, I guess at this stage, I have to start accepting that's a reality. I might have to buy MSTR. I don't know yet. Not looking good, though. We might be stuck in the crypto hell after all. We have to wait until after August 14th to see what happens, man. At least we know it's legit, right? We know it's fucking legit. You can't be bearish into an orange line. It's impossible. Motherfucker. Right? If you take that same Moonboy chart and you put SPY on it, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, you can't, I mean, you can't even really be bearish at all on SPY, but when you get the crashes, there's usually a white line. You can't really be bearish into an orange line. But see, in 2023, after the orange line, we turned bearish. Yeah, you can't tell me, look, both bottoms were at the white line, man. You can't tell me that's a coincidence, brother. Sorry. You just can't. Yeah, the yellow line is more powerful than the... This was the May crash. So I'm not going to sit here telling you it's perfect because that would be a lie. But it appears when there's a macro bottom, there's usually a white line there. Now, this is interesting because we had two yellow lines, but look at how far apart they are. These were much closer together, so there wasn't enough time for a crash. See how we had a little baby one? We have a lot of time this time. We have almost 500. It's 364 days. Oh, it's this one that has a lot of time. No, it's 364 days. Yeah, maybe we just get a little pullback after all. But it's very tough. You're usually going up into the yellow line. Orange, sorry. Have you ever gone down into an orange line? I don't believe so. So, mate, if you're a bear, like if you're like me and you're trying to if you're trying to leave the crypto shithole, your only chance is after August 14th. If we're still bullish after August, then it's not going back down. You're just gonna have to cope and accept that we're trapped in the crypto shithole forever. But here we were bullish, here we were bullish, but then we turned bearish after. Here we were bullish, here we were bullish, turned bearish after. March of 2024? What happened here? I mean, I can't really say 18 days before is really not. Like, you can't say that you were bearish into the orange line. I mean, the thing skyrocketed and then it pulled back. But I would argue if it's going to pull back, it has to pull back after August. Because if it's September and we're still going up, then you just have to accept it's not coming back and then you're just going to go up forever. Of course, you're going to have pullbacks along the way, but we're not looking for a pullback. We're looking for an entry. At least I am, and I'm not buying on a 5% pullback. There's just no way. I'm not buying on a 5% drawdown, brother. What you gonna do, brother? Right? What was this? 5? Yeah, come on, man. That's not even a fucking correction. Get out of here with that shit. I need something juicy. I need at least 10 to 15%. The problem is, if it just keeps going, by the time it comes back down, it's not even going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it. So now I am accepting my fate. I might have to be a crypto shitter for the rest of my life, which is not something I wanted to do, but guess I have to swallow the pride, or not the pride. I have to swallow the pill. I got a crypto reward from Robinhood. My wife tells me crypto won't go up until the wars are over. That's what they said in February of 2022, and that war is still going on. Crypto is not going to go up until February, in my opinion, which is why it sucks, because now I'm not giving up hope, but I am a little bit disappointed because my plan was I wanted to buy stocks and then go into crypto. But if this isn't going to pull back, then it still could pull back, but by the time it bottoms, crypto will be it will be time to be bullish on crypto. So it's not going to help. But if you look at historically, if you buy the low on SPY, you typically get a period where SPY is bullish and Bitcoin is not. So you could buy SPY, get whatever you're going to get, and then move into Bitcoin. So now you're multiplying your gains. That was present in the last two bear markets. You could have bought SPY here, got all this money, and then bought Bitcoin here and caught the whole move. 2015 was slightly different, but even so, you could have bought this, and to a lesser degree, not really, because it looks like Bitcoin went up here anyway. So obviously, if SPY keeps going the way that it is, that's not possible. Which means I have to just buy this, which is, at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. It's a little disappointing for sure, but I'll live. I guess maybe Coinbase could be a good option too. No, MSTR is a better option. It is disappointing though. You think in a perfect world, think outside the box. What do you recommend for me, Nate? What should I do? If you give me a stupid answer, I'm timing you out. I don't think Sailor sold the bottom. I don't think the bottom is in for crypto. It's just disappointing that there is a chance we don't get our correction for stocks. It's very real. Yeah, and then I look at Ethereum and it just looks so shit. Like it's doing the same thing it always does at the top. You get stuck. You get stuck. Buy Pokemon cards. You get stuck at the top. So we can't be bullish for that much longer. I really do think, yeah, this is fucked, man. I really do think once August 13th passes, it's time to go down. Because that will leave us with 30 to 40 days. That leaves us with 45 days to October. That's more than enough time. But if we don't go up now, it's not going up. It's just not. Even here, you had a monster drawdown, 23%. That's going to break the low. AG is another good option. No, I already have a plan. This guy's trying to get me to buy the top on silver. This motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. No, I have my plan. I have two plans. I made two plans specifically for this scenario. Option A would have been preferred because I could be a stock guy, but option B is fine. It's just going to take me a while. At the end of the day, I'm going to hopefully get to the same place. We're just going to have to focus on, we're just going to stop talking about the stock market. If we don't get the S&P crash, I don't care about the stock market anymore. There's no, it's like talking to a girl that doesn't like you. There's no point. If the S&P is going to not pull back for me, then I'm not interested anymore. I have to go after the girl that likes me, which is Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor. I'm going on a date with Michael Saylor. Oh, motherfudger. Motherfudger, man. I mean, do I really gotta start drinking the hopium then? It did do a 40x. If it comes back to 60 bucks, 10x is 700. That's a 400 billion market cap though, man. Son of a bitch. Is that even possible? I'm not giving up hope. Yeah, I'm not giving up hope. I still think the semiconductors can come down for me. I refuse to buy into the hopium. $1,200 is possible. Do you not care about the market cap? That's what I'm asking. I remember saying that to the XRP people in 2017, and they all said no, it doesn't matter. You know what they said to me? When the banks adopt XRP, market cap's not going to matter. What if 40% from today is what, $55? Let's just, I know it's probably not going to go down that low, but let's just make it 50 just so I can have an easy brain. 50% would be a 16 billion market cap. So a 10x would be 160 billion, which is not necessarily impossible. Or it would be 320 billion, because I think it's they have some stupid shit where there's two market caps for some reason. There's like the weight of the holdings and then the weight of their debt, stock, and everything else. Oh man, is it really going up without us? Was that really it? $1 trillion market cap is not that big nowadays. Yeah, I guess I never thought of that. You are right about that. I will give you that. Every single semiconductor is going to be a trillion market cap. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. You are right about that, Anon. I'll give you that. I guess it's time to take the orange pill, like the Curry Man says, and just have to be MSTR Moon Boy. If Bitcoin's not going to do an 18x, oh, it's Yoga Frogs. Yeah, it's tough. I am a little disappointed, honestly. Oh, well, wait a minute. All hope isn't lost, though. What about meta? What if I do the same play, but just use meta? Because meta's still bearish. So maybe we can get the final drawdown and then meta takes off. That could still work. Because meta... No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Yeah, I'm going to have to accept reality pretty soon. If we don't get this stock correction, I'm going to have to buy MSTR. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Moon Boys win again. Moon Boys win again. Gotta give them, gotta give them credit, man. When the Moon Boys win, you gotta give them credit. They win again. Is that accounting for stock dilution? Yeah, that's the problem with MSTR. There's too many variables. I'll figure it out. We'll see what happens over the rest of the market cycle. What a move. What a move. What are those? Meta announced they're out of cash due to AI spending. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. When Bitcoin bottoms, they'll find the cash. They'll go back up. I don't know. When does this become bullish? I guess right after 145, right? Because what's interesting here is the semiconductors are responsible for the sell-off, but they're not responsible for the new all-time high. So something must be going vertical right now. Amazon went up. Did Apple go back up today? No. Is Google going vertical? I wouldn't say it's going vertical, but it's now going up. What's the other one? Microsoft? Yeah, I'm trying to word it I'm trying to cope. Just give me a second. Let me cope for a second. So the semiconductors went down, but Microsoft never moved. Now Microsoft is going up. Google's going up. Amazon already went up. But now the semiconductors are bouncing. So the only way this is still possible is if we pass through August and the semis are still down here. Then we can put the bottom in. Well, yeah, this is the last cope here. This is the only way this is still possible. Is if this is like a fake rally, which is big cope, but give me a second. Because right now we got what we asked for the semis for the first half, right? If this was the bottom, then I didn't get what I wanted. But for all we know, we're just bouncing and then we're going down again. But when does that become not likely? I would say after August, the middle of August. If we go like this, then that was the bottom and I missed it. But I wouldn't have bought in anyway here because I'm still looking for Bitcoin to go lower. This is not a good entry for me because I want to buy in and hold forever. We could go like this and then go lower next time, which is not good. But I would argue that if we go up after August, then this was the bottom, and I'm not gonna be able to get in. If this ends up happening, it would be tragic. Fucking tragedy. But we still could go down after August. Because you got to think about it too. The S&P is not supposed to turn bearish until November should be the bottom. So we really shouldn't start going down until like here somewhere. But you also have to accept that there's a scenario where it doesn't go down. And I would say that if we're still bullish and like if we're still bullish, then it's not going down. So the only way we can still get this is if we go up into August and then we go down. Because then it lines up. I'm not giving up hope yet, but I am losing hope. Because you don't want to look for something that's not possible. And the way that this is looking, this doesn't really look this does not look likely. If it keeps moving the way that it's moving, because for all we know, it's right here, and now we're going to the moon, and then I definitely missed it. So I would have to say, if I missed it, I missed it. But if I didn't miss it, then after August, we would come back down and then go down in September. But I would really have to argue that even with this move, it's very unlikely that we come back to the 200-week moving average, because now you're asking for something that's never happened before. That's too big of a drop. But that would still be okay, because if we got that, then I'd be able to get in here. But if we don't pull back after August, it's not coming, and I have to be a crypto I'm stuck in the shithole with Michael Saylor. It's all right. My beloved Palantir. I don't even know what this is. No, it's still following Bitcoin. Top was in November. It's all right. We'll live. I'll live. I guess it's time to start doing some MSTR research, huh, boys? we almost had it. Oh, son of a biscuit. I guess I gotta start talking about MSTR now. Palantir is up 30% today. Yeah, but it could go back down. MSTR, Moon Boys. Yeah, dude, the RSI on this has to be unreal. Yeah, nah, I just can't do it, man. We're gonna have to skip stock market, man. Unless we're pulling a 2018. I mean, look at where we are. Gonna have to watch her go out with somebody else. Right now she's going out with Jaquan. I can't really do anything. Wasn't there two other stocks that hold Bitcoin? Yeah, but the problem is you're guessing if it's going to go up. That's why the stock market was so crucial to our success. You don't have to guess if the stock market's going to go up. You know it's going to go up. When you buy these Bitcoin treasuries, you're gambling that they're going to go up. They might not go up, which is why it's so crucial that the S&P comes back, because we know it's going higher. You could have bought Mara saying, yeah, it's going to go up, and it never moved. Like, it did a 2x. Maybe it did a little bit of a pump. Let me see. I mean, I guess if you bought the absolute bottom, you did get a 10x. But how many people sold here thinking it was going to go higher because of the 4-year cycle? It never went up. The stock market always goes up. You just got to wait long enough. If you buy Mara and you wait long enough, it might go back down. The whole idea was to ditch the speculative mindset. That's why I'm kind of angry. When you buy crypto scams, you're speculating that they're going to go higher. If you buy semiconductors, they always go higher forever. That's what's upsetting. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not upset yet. But if we come to October and the S&P is still going up, then I'm going to be upset because I'm stuck with MSTR. because there's no other options to pick from. I can't gamble on a Bitcoin treasury that might go up. You know? We already tried that with shitcoins. Oh, they might go up. They might go back up. But at the end of the day, it's okay. We'll find a way. We always do. Wow, this thing's going to 0xz. What is this? Yeah, see, look at this crap. This is supposed to be a Bitcoin stock, and it's just going to 0. That's what I'm saying. It's too risky to buy this stuff, man. All the Bitcoin stocks are going to 0. So you say to yourself, yeah, it makes sense because we're in a bear market. So when the bull market comes back, we'll go back up. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it just keeps going down. Dude, we're flying. Oh, man. Congratulations to the Moon Boys. You win again. You win again. You can go back to Doge. I will probably never own Doge for the rest of my days. Because now I'm thinking to myself, if we have to wait for the QQQ to make a new all-time high, by the time that happens, SPY is going to be all the way up at 800. Then even if we get a 10% drawdown, we're back to where we already were, which doesn't help us. And then I have to say to myself, the QQQ technically did have a 12% drawdown, which that is enough to trigger one of these bullshit pumps again. That's what's making me like not, like this is what it does. It goes down 12% and then it goes straight up. So if the QQQ is about to go straight up again, then we're really stuck in crypto hell. I'm confused. You said you wanted to go off for the bull trap. Yeah, Bitcoin, not stock market. I had a feeling the stock market was going to make another all-time high, but that's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is how impulsively it's moving. It's literally gapping to the upside. When you go up for the market top, you usually get one of these. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for a subtle peak and then a correction. But now it's starting to go straight up. I mean, unless we're right here, is cope. I'm not losing hope yet. No, I'm losing hope, but I'm not giving up hope because I want to see what happens after August 14th. We had a heavy bias that we were going to be bullish or neutral into August 14th, and then the second half of August should be bearish. But what is that? If we go all the way to 800 and then it pulls back, that doesn't even help us. That doesn't do anything for us. But once we pass through August 14th, technically it should be bearish. But the problem is, how high is it going to go? And then it opens up the door. Well, what if it's not bearish? What if we pass through August 14th and the S&P keeps going? That's why I'm agitated. I have no worries about Bitcoin. It's not moving. It's bare. Everything on the chart says it's going down. On my chart, at least. I don't want to speak in absolutes. I know the Moon Boys have perma-bull charts that are bullish. But if you look at the momentum, it says we should be going up right now, and we're not. So by Friday, this is going to be overbought, which means we should start moving up now, because this was going from oversold to overbought, and we moved up. This went from oversold to overbought, and we moved up. We should move up. If we don't move up, it's bearish. Why? Because it's always been bearish whenever you don't move up. 2022, multiple times. Even in 2023, you got stuck and it went down. Now here, you didn't move up and you did go down. You went down by 17%. I still remember this day like it was yesterday. So Bitcoin, I'm not worried about. I'm worried about being stuck with Bitcoin. It's my toxic boyfriend that I can't seem to get rid of. He won't leave me alone. I wanted to move over to the stock world, but now I'm stuck in hell. Stuck in hell. I'm getting depressed about the stock market going up. You're losing hope. I'm not losing hope on the crypto crash. I'm losing hope for the stock market crash. There's no doubt in my mind crypto's going lower. And maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't want to say it as if, oh, I'm going to be right. What I'm saying is, in my brain, I'm not worried about Bitcoin going lower because I think it is. I'm worried that I won't have any other options but to buy crypto. So I didn't want to come off as, oh, we're guaranteed to go down. I meant it as if I'm not worried about crypto. This is just unfortunate because now we're stuck here. But it's not all, I gotta go pee. It's not all negative, man. Maybe we just have to become one with Michael Saylor. But then you have to start gambling because you're like, do you know that MSTR is going to go back up, or do you speculate that it's going to go back up? That's the thing. We are speculating that it's going to go back up. But you know the stock market's going to go back up. But I'm not giving up hope yet. We still have one more ace up our sleeve, which is the very reason why we were bullish in August and July in the first place. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the closer we get to the Moonboy chart, the more violently it's moving. But we should turn bearish after August 14th. We should. We've got everything we're asking for Bitcoin, not for the stock market. We got the 2 FOMC meetings. The next FOMC meeting isn't until September, so we should theoretically be lower by then. We got the FOMC, I think it was somewhere. I don't even remember. I think it was here. The missing piece of the puzzle is touching this short-term realized price, which we didn't touch yet. It's the missing piece of the puzzle. We tagged it here, and then we went down. We tagged it here, then we went down. We tagged it here, and then we went down. It's the missing piece. So there is a very large chance that we do spike up to that point. And once we go like this, I can rest my eyes because I know it's going lower. Some people are saying we should go down and then up. That doesn't make any sense. We should go up, and then if we're bullish, we go to the moon. That's it. If we go down after that, it's ultra bearish. Ultra kill. Ultra bearish. Remember the Ultra Ball? Go to Ultra Ball at the bull. Captured the bull. Tauros. Throw an ultra ball at Tauros. It's happened every single time. This is the missing piece of the puzzle. Do I like that it's taking this long? No. Do I like that it's happening when we thought it would? I do, but I wish it would have happened a little earlier. Now, this is what we were looking for since back here. What I would need to see is the move down almost immediately. Because if we really sit here until August 14th, then we only have 48 days to September. Sorry, we have 50 days to October, which is fine. There's more than enough time to go down. We would have to go down to the low by the end of August. All I need to see to sleep at night is to see Bitcoin return back to the low by the end of August. Doesn't matter if it's August 23rd to August 30th. That doesn't matter to me. This isn't worrying me, because that's what we're looking for. I don't even know if we're going to get it still, because it's still not moving. Even though stocks are going vertical, we're still not moving. I am open to it. I still think it's possible. If it's bullish and I'm wrong, we'll just keep going. Holy shit, the super cycle's back. Anything above 67K and then back down is ultra bearish. You did that here. You did that here. Here. You go back to the other bear markets. You did it here. You did it here. You go back to 2018. You did it multiple times. So that's what we're looking for. If we go down from here, which is what some of the Moon Boys are saying, which I personally don't think makes any sense, you're going to trigger the falling momentum that has always triggered the move down. You know? Every time we get overbought and we move lower, we go down big time. Here you pulled back, but the stock RSI was already climbing and it was overbought. So technically, if we did go down and the stock RSI continued to move, then you could say it is bullish. But the last two times it's happened, it didn't do that. We actually went down with it. And the fact that it's climbing now and we're not moving means that if we sit here for another 5 days, it's going to go even higher. A big move down to the low is going to tug on it. But you're supposed to be going up now. Because even in the bear market lows, when you hit overbought, you shot up. Here, when you hit overbought, you already put the lower low, you already put the higher low in and you started moving higher. Now we're not overbought yet. So technically we still could sit here. And that's why I'm saying by Friday, this should hit overbought, which means we should go like this. And if that happens and the price goes back down, it's over. There's no more. If we go like this and it still doesn't go up, then when is it supposed to go up? That's the question I ask. But it is disappointing that it's not looking good for our stock plan. Stock market wins again. That I will admit. It's not looking good for our stock plan. Womp, womp, womp. I guess we're going to have to start preparing for the crypto plan then. Operation Crypto. Son of a bitch. I really, really wanted to change teams, man. I really wanted to change teams. That's all right. It's all good. It's all good. There's no doubt at all Bitcoin is going lower, but don't think the prices I wanted. Well, I think 27K is too low, personally. I think 40K is fair. I'm not saying I'm going to be right. That's just what I think. But I also have to accept that the odds of us going back to the 200-week moving average are really starting to dwindle. Because I don't really see it being realistic to go down 40% by December. That doesn't make any sense. That's not happening. Son of a bitch, man. Yeah, I think we got to swallow our pride. I guess starting tomorrow, I'll start looking at MSTR. Make room on the Michael Saylor boat and coming in. Are there any badges? No, we already got all the sell signals. Again, it's not time to lose faith yet, but if it does keep going after August 15th, then yes, it's not happening. Could we be right here? Yes. If we get stuck, then we could do this. The problem is it looks like we're moving up very strongly, so I don't want to sit on here saying this has to play out. Which is why, in my opinion, anything past August 14th, if we're at 800, this is not likely. It's just not. If it's August 14th and we pull back, then you could start saying it is likely. But I will say this doesn't really look that weak. It looks strong. So the odds of us getting this are very low. Which is fine in the big picture. It's just, it would have been nice to start a stock portfolio. But I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but I can't invest into the stock market when the RSI is overbought the way that it is. I just can't do it. Does that mean I'm going to miss out on gains? Not necessarily, because we're almost getting ready for a Bitcoin bull market. It's just, it would have been nice to start a stock portfolio, but I can't put my money in when the RSI is as high as it is. Especially when the following months have always been choppy. So I'm just going to have to let it go. She's going out with Tyrone. It's all right. I'm going to have to go out with Madison. Madison MicroStrategy. How you doing, Madison? My name is Fat Boy. Oh, it is what it is. I meant it already went to the 200-day MA in April of 2025, asking to go back in October, is asking for something that never happened before. Yes, I will bite your rage bait. You are very good at rage baiting me. What I was looking for the SPY is what has happened at every bear market bottom. I was looking for the Wyckoff spring. So in every Bitcoin bear market, the S&P goes back to the 200-week moving average for the Wyckoff spring. Every single time. It's undeniable. If you disagree, you're disagreeing with the chart, and that's okay. I've done that before. But before every single Bitcoin bull market, the S&P comes back to the 200-week moving average. If you think that has never happened, it's happened every single time. So I am incorrect for wishing for something that has always happened. Now, we did come back to it here, so I have to respect the possibility that it doesn't come back down here. But in order to get the Wyckoff spring that we always get, we always come back to this. So you guys do rage bait me all the time, but I do feel like biting this time. Every bear market bottom when people keep saying Bitcoin is dead. Yeah, there's not a lot of people thinking that. Just because Ben Cowan is bearish and a lot of his viewers are bearish doesn't mean everyone is bearish. I can pull up just as many bullish YouTubers as bearish YouTubers. You guys gotta place your bets. That's all you can do. I would never short stock market because I know it's too bullish to short. You usually get lucky when you short the stock market. This time it's pulled to the left because the stock market's going through its final left translated cycle. Right, so you don't think we're in a Bitcoin bear market. That's where we disagree. What I'm saying is, if it is a Bitcoin bear market and we do come back down here, the S&P 500 will come back down. It's just not going to come back down to this, which isn't going to be any use to me. Even if the S&P pulls back, I still don't want to buy it. I want to buy it where there's no return to that price. Like, even if people bought here, there's still that chance we go below it. But now it's not likely we're coming down here. So if you bought here, you're never going to be underwater ever again. It's impossible. If you bought here, you're probably going to be underwater at some point, but you'll have to hold through it. But you don't think we're in a bear market. You think we're in a first time ever super cycle. But for you to tell me that I'm looking for something that has never happened before, when every single bear market in history has resulted in a 200-week moving average test, you're rage baiting me, which is what you've been doing for the last 2 years. But we're getting close to the end of the stream, like overall, where I stopped streaming. So I'm taking a bite at the rage bait. But in the back of my mind, I am very open to the scenario where I don't get to buy the stock market, which is why I have 2 game plans. Whenever you guys ask me what is my plan, my response was always, I don't know yet because I don't know if the S&P is going to do what I want it to do. But I have a backup plan just in case. Unfortunately, I didn't want to go out with Michael Saylor. I wanted to go out with Selena the stock market. And now I have to go out with Michael and MSTR, Michael Myers. So I'm going to have to marry him for his money and then divorce him so I get half of his shit. $377 will forever save us. I don't know what that means. It sucks. I'm not upset that I didn't buy in because I would have never bought in here anyway. But I would have bought in here. Because according to the chart, this is what you guys are missing. If you think the S&P is not going to pull back when Bitcoin goes to 40K, you're mistaken. That's why I didn't buy in, because I think Bitcoin's going lower. But I'm not giving up hope. I might give up hope, actually. Yeah, I might. I might have to be MSTR Moonboy. That's all right, because I already have a chart from 12 months ago. No, it's like 8 months ago. It's almost time to be bullish anyway. Dude, what if we really go down here? I guess I just get in and close my eyes. We're right at the end. We're almost there. We got one more spike left and then we should go down. We had one more spike in 2022. We had one more spike in 2018. Baby spike. 2014 was just bullish and then down. So there should be one more spike left. And then we should get all the way down here. But I ask myself, is this likely? Does this look likely? And I would say no if by August 30th, we're still up here. If we make it back to the low at any time in August, it is very likely. Because the measurement from each low to the following low was 28%, 25%, and 20%. So if we fall 25% from here, that puts us at 43,000. And each of those moves took place over the course of 20 days. So all I need to see is Bitcoin go back to the low in August. And I know it's going lower. But what I am now disappointed in is it looks like we're not going to be able to be stock guys after all. We're going to have to be crypto moon boys again. You cannot compare the 2018 cycle. It's all good, my man. Like I said, you just got to follow however you think it's going to go, and that's all you can do. If I was confident the stock market was going to go down, I would have shorted it. But I know not. You can never short the stock market. It's very dangerous because all it does is go up. So Bitcoin, on the other hand, all Bitcoin does is go sideways and down. And then when you're bullish, it goes up for a little bit of time. So we got to capture these moves. That's all we have to do. But most of the time, it goes sideways. You spend more time going sideways than anything. If the Clarity Act passes, it's not going down. Could be, man. You got to just place your bet on how you think it will play out. Yeah, I guess that's probably it, man. Well done to the Stock Moon boys, man. Can't even be mad. Well done. At least we got the oil call right. Yeah. And I don't even make any money on oil. I don't care. It's all right. Just cope a little harder, bear boy. You'll be all right. Cope harder, bear boy. It already came out. It's not getting past that. What already came out? What about Nvidia? Is it just going to go to 15 trillion market cap, you think? Government shutdowns? Come on, man. I don't follow any of that garbage. I don't follow the news, man. They were telling me about the Clarity Act up here. Now they're telling me about it again at the same exact time. And they'll be talking about it again in January of 2027. But we're out of time by the end of the month. So either I'm wrong and we're going to the moon, or I'm right and we're going to 40K, 44,000. Maybe it's 43, I don't know. Somewhere around here. I don't know if it's going to be exactly 40K. But if I look at it like this, you know, it's not really that far-fetched. Especially when you look at the moves we get. But I guess we shall leave it for today. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay safe. Yeah, that's probably it, man. I don't think we're getting that's probably it. We may never see 60K again. Yeah, there's a decent amount of people that feel that way. It's not a, you just gotta do whatever you think will play out. It's kind of it. But as always, thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe. None of this is financial advice. We shall be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you soon.